Thank you very much for joining. A very short announcement today about the UberCloud cloud community and experiment platform and Marketplace and Appstore, which we have developed over the last 2 years, together with my friend Wolfgang Gentzsch, who is the CEO now of this company, which is sitting in Silicon Valley. Let me turn over. It is about an engineering and scientific marketplace. So engineers and scientists, both, they have one thing in common, even more, but the one thing we concentrate on is computing. They have basically 3 options today to use computing, namely their workstation, and we know 95% of all engineers and scientists still just use their workstations. No further HPC. Why? Because the servers they could use, they very often for small and medium-sized enterprises and departments in research, the servers are far too expensive and they need an expert to run it and to operate it very often. So the third option today then is a cloud, HPC in the cloud. However, all 3 options are coming with challenges. Workstations very often are limited in storage, in compute capacity. Servers are expensive, and already I said you need people to it. The total cost of ownership of a $70,000 server, according to IDC, is $1 million over 3 years. Small, medium organizations cannot really afford that. HPC Cloud comes with security challenges, comes with licensing issues. There's no annual licensing here anymore. There is pay-per-use license. ISVs have some challenges to turn over and embrace this new model. And then there's the data transfer. Engineers and scientists, they usually generate gigabytes of output or result data, right? So how to get the final results? Oh, the cloud disappears. Okay. To get this data back to the end user. So we believe we have solved these problems. And I will tell you how. So we know the benefits of HPC in the cloud very quickly. Oh, it's that way. Okay. One more. Okay. So in a sudden you have your workstation here and you have an HPC system at your fingertip on demand. Next is you pay per use. There is no upfront capital expenditure anymore. And next is that you can scale your resources up and down according to your real on-demand requirements. And finally, there is a low risk working with one of the resource providers, because if you are not happy, you turn to the next, to the next, to the next. Today, this is almost impossible because there is no easy portability among the clouds. We have developed a container technology which does that as well. So the next one is that the engineers, I already talked about the challenges, which are summarizing workstations slow, limited, servers expensive, complex, clouds, security, licensing, data transfer, expertise. So just as a summary of what I said before. So 2 years ago, we started with experiments. We said we want to really know how users face the HPC cloud. And we developed the concept of HPC as a service in team experiments, just to learn how this new technology and especially new business opportunity affects your daily work in a hopefully positive way. So the experiments are for SMEs and for small research organizations, especially engineers and scientists, to explore the end-to-end process from your workstation to the cloud and results back. We have cut that down into 22 steps, and we provide basically hand-holding guidance for the end users and for the whole team to go that long way back and forth and to learn especially about the roadblocks and how to resolve them. This is how the experiment works. An end user from science or industry joins, registers, then we get this software provider on board. Then we select the resource provider from 54 resource providers which we have now in our community. So they all joined. So we have 80 plus software providers, Ansys, Abacus, OpenFOAM, GrowMax, and so on. They're all part of these experiments. So after that, the team is ready to go, and finally they write a case study. So if you are interested in the most recent 17 case studies, just go to HPC Wire. Okay, go to HPC Wire and download the white paper, which is on the bottom of the white paper section. It's the UberCloud, the most recent UberCloud case studies. Okay, so far we have done 152 of these experiments. Still, about half of these experiments failed, and we were especially analyzing why they failed. And we put all that expertise and experience now in developing this Marketplace Experiment Appstore platform. And here are, the compendiums. You will also find the 2013 compendium, which we basically published last year in June, when you just search for it easily. So, Team 2, simulating new probe design for a medical device, for example. On Amazon, BioTeam, we know BioTeam very well as an expert. Team 8, this is with the cement and mineral industry. So this is a cement dryer and mixer, which is 20 meters high for a in Morocco, a cement company with Ansys simulating the whole thing on the Extreme factory from Bull. And they are all part of these experiments. In the meantime, we have more than 3,000 participating organizations in 72 countries who are all interested to learn more about HPC and the cloud and how this might affect in the future your research and your industry business. Stimulating stent, when you have a clogged artery, then molecular dynamics, this is about cancer, and next generation sequencing, data analysis, especially about big data here, right? And this is about finite element code coupled with Ansys, in-house Rolls-Royce. We had that panel yesterday, 2 o'clock. So if you were lucky enough to participate, but you can read this in our compendium. So having learned this after about 50 experiments, we said, okay, there is real demand in the market on both sides. On the provider side, they want to reach out to a wider community. Okay, so they provide hardware, software, and they provide expertise on one hand. On the other hand, there is a shopping mall, right? What you need is customers who want to buy these things. So that's why this is a marketplace. Everybody comes together, and whenever there is an end user request, we match them. We have developed an algorithm which is based on the Hungarian wedding algorithm. So that's a mathematical thing. We have further developed it, and we match the end user with the best providers on the other side. How the hell, I almost said, how the hell can an engineer identify the best suited services out there in a kind of a community which is almost chaotic currently? So I will tell you. So that's how we developed it, and that's the timing. So we are now here. So that's why today is a great day of an announcement. This is a world announcement, and you will be very pleased that we tried to solve, and we basically have almost solved all of these hurdles, all of these roadblocks with one crazy technology, I would say. Everybody is jumping now on container. So we have containerized basically the whole marketplace, and I will tell you how. This is today's situation still, before the announcement, so to speak. As you see, the engineer is facing a crazy world, and an engineer doesn't have time to really carefully analyze everything and find out the best service. So now, from now on, it looks like that. It all goes through the marketplace. It is well structured. It is orchestrated. You can really search for the best. You can just send a request and we do the matches for you. We are an independent, vendor-agnostic marketplace platform online where you find your best 1, 2, 3, 4 providers, service providers. Okay, so, oh, that was too fast. Let's go back for a moment. This marketplace currently is useful for about 20 million engineers and scientists out there, on one hand, as the users, as the consumers, so to speak. And on the other side, you have the providers, right, for hardware, software, services. And we match them together so that they can discover meaning you can register. Then you get newsletter, you can read articles about this topic. We do trainings and we offer webinars regularly. These are the experiments I mentioned. You can do an experiment, you can register. Hi, I'm an end user and I want to do with my application, I want to do an experiment with my software provider and with a great service resource provider, and I need some expert in GPU and in MPI and you name it. And we put it all together for you on a Basecamp platform. We lock you in your team and then you work for 1, 2, 3 months in the past. So from now on you work just 1, 2, 3 weeks. So it is much shorter now to get first time in the cloud. Second time, then it's in seconds, which you will see in a minute. Okay, so this is the website, you go there. Unfortunately, this is not my car, but in 1 year, I guess, after that flies. Okay, and this is now like it was 1 second ago. So now we do this announcement here at ISC, especially for you, which is about, so where are the drums? UberCloud Marketplace and Appstore. So what we have developed is this matching. So you come in, you get matched. Ideally now you look for a standard offer. A standard offer could be open phone on Amazon for 1 day, 24 hours, on 16 cores for $99. Okay, you like it? You click on it and you see I clicked on it. I have one product now, or service as you like, in my shopping cart. And then, I go to the shopping cart, I pay, I just provide my credit card, I pay for it, and immediately then I get an email with hello, welcome, and then there is a link and a password. The link takes you directly to the cloud where your application is already sitting, and that application then you can trigger it as you work in a container on your workstation, connect to the container on the cloud where your application is, where your data now is, and then you work like it is on your workstation. So you don't see that it is on your workstation. You think it's on your workstation, but it's sitting in the cloud. You can do electromagnetics on Nimbix. You can do Autodesk CFD on Sim 360. And you can check these different offers. If one of these offers don't fit your requirements, you click on custom. So request a custom code. And then I get it on my table, I look at it, and I craft for you the best suited offer because I use our matching algorithms for you. I don't take it out of my head, but I do a matching algorithm and I get up to 3 resource providers which nicely fit your requirements, fully automatically. And then I ask these 3 guys, hey, send this customer a quote. And so this customer gets 3 quotes and selects from the quotes the one or the 2 he or she wants to connect with. And we connect them with, and so then this is fully automatic. And so these guys talk, and as a marketplace we get a small fee out of that because we are a broker, we are a matchmaker, so we get 5 to 10% out of the big deal, meaning the real benefit is the end user just does one fingertip and then gets a specific application in the cloud for a certain amount of time. Okay, so we think that we have removed or reduced at least many of these cloud challenges. You can imagine You put your application in a container. You put your data in a container. You put your tools in a container like MPI. And then you close it. You compress it. You encrypt it. And you throw it over the fence. One important challenge also is control. In the cloud, so far up to today, basically, you lose control over your job as soon as it leaves your workstation. It is somewhere in the cloud. You cannot really monitor and see how far you are. So we have built in a monitoring system. So you have the monitor on your workstation and you see exactly what happens with your job in a cloud, or is it in that cloud, or is it over there? So you can monitor and follow. While in the past, people called this kind of deep connection of an engineer with his workstation server hugging. So we call that now, because you can have control over your cloud. We call it now cloud hugging. You say, in a sudden, it is my cloud. And you can really say, get off of my cloud. Yeah? Okay, but this is a different thing. Right. Okay, so portability. Today, portability is really low. There is almost no portability among clouds. It is now very high because the containers are sitting on a very small runtime layer. It is basically LXC driven, so the Linux runtime layer. So this runtime layer sits on your workstation, sits on your server, or sits in any of the clouds. Now a container can be moved with whatever you have put into it, seamlessly, transparently, over there. In a sudden, there is a standard, right? It is because it's everywhere. It's portable. Today, nothing is portable. Federation is a real big problem. With that technology, not anymore. You can connect the container here with the container there. You can do number crunching here. You can do remote visualization here. You can connect this together. You put the data in box.com today. And then, when you are ready with everything, you can download it finally to your workstation. Okay? Software licensing. Today, it's low. There are only a few companies like Ansys who handle that. Like CD and AVCO and maybe a handful. But with the container, which is directly connected either to your license server or to the software vendor's license server, and takes a part of a license out of that to really run the stuff. It is solved. Data transfer with the compression and even streaming in the near future. I mean, this is almost solved. It's still a challenge to get your 100 gigabyte back to your workstation, obviously. Standardization, I addressed, compliance, resource availability is fine, because if one resource provider is busy and full, so you turn over to another one when you have an urgent job. Transparency of the market. I mean, it's completely transparent now with this marketplace construct. And cloud computing expertise. Come on. Yes. Cloud computing expertise. A small and medium enterprise. Okay. A small and... Okay. One. Okay, I tell you. So the expertise is no longer as an SME. No? Is no longer necessary in-depth running an own cluster today. The expertise is sitting somewhere in the cloud, and the cloud provider takes care of that. So you can, I mean, even submit your job to a workstation, to a server, to the cloud, as if it's still sitting just on your workstation. With that, and with that announcement, I thank you very much for your attention, for your interest, and please register at theubercloud.com. It's free, and you get trained, you get educated, you get informed, and you can participate in these voluntary experiments, for example. Thank you very much.